Alrighty, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel here. Midweek, exciting times, looking at uranium, and later on I will make a video on the commodities, gold and silver. But for now, let's focus on our favorite sector of all time, at least for me personally, uranium. And yeah, midweek, let's blast through the charting. And as always, thank you for tuning back in, highly appreciated. And yeah. Stop talking about that. Let's do what we are here for, the charting. URA, again, let's just look long term because nothing has really happened the past few trading days, not on a weekly basis anyways. Long term, just look at it here. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this chart for the long term. Coming into some resistance areas here after a great, fantastic run for the past 2 months or so, 3 months, mid-July. And yeah, we are at this high here roughly, that pivot high there. And I think we will go all the way up to here, the triangle, fill the triangle high there at 31. Again, nothing goes in a straight line, but yeah, just let it run. You can see here, the 30 weekly moving average is finally turning back up again, just like here. And as long as it does, you just follow the trend. And this is definitely not the top for this move. In my view, we are going a lot higher. We are going to in the neighborhood of 80 over the next year or two. In this move here, we're going to roughly 80, close to the Fukushima gap. So yeah, fantastic long term. Nothing to worry about really, and every dip should be bought. I will mention this though on the daily. Again, we just use the RSI to see if we have any negative divergence going down here, and this one is going up. So we are losing momentum. Again, it doesn't really matter because the monthly chart is the one in charge right now, and we are still a long way to go before we peak out here. And the weekly is yes, very overbought as well, but again, it just means that it is way more bullish, and every dip should be bought, just like over here. I want to show you on the weekly for how long we were overbought, excuse me, here. This was the first time we really got oversold, but just look at it here, right? We were overbought, overbought for a half year. We were overbought. We just kept going up here, and then we had one final spike. So yeah, there's a long way to go still. Same thing for URNM. We have just getting started here. This is a massive trend. If you add in a lot of, the shorter term and longer term moving averages, they are just starting to curl up here underneath. And yeah, nothing to worry about. But anyways, just remember that the dips will come, as you know, they are coming. And yeah, they are the one that you should be buying. This is my view, is not a dip. We need a bigger percentage drop, but you can see here coming into that high here as well. And this is the latest one in the making. So yeah, URNJ is catching a lot of attention, and you can see here the momentum here was very strong, and now we're getting some smaller body candles here, and so we're starting to stagnate a bit here. I want to show you one thing here. This green candle right there, you can see massive volume, which is not actually a good thing to see at the end of after a big run up. That's not usually a good thing to see, especially if you get a day after we have an inside bar and you get the same amount of volume, again indicating some sort of short-term distribution here, and we again could be in for some bigger pullback right here. Again, I'm not saying that it's going to happen. I'm just gonna remind you guys that nothing goes in a straight line, and pullbacks are healthy. One of the best looking charts really out there is the U.UN, the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. Massive outperformance. Very big green weekly candles still. No dojis, no hammers, no nothing. Insanely overbought. On the daily, on the weekly, and the monthly is getting there. So we are fully aligned long term in a massive, again, I will say it again, a massive uptrend for the Sprott, for the spot price, or for the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. And as mentioned previously, we are going up here. The path of least resistance is just up here at around 37. Will we do like this? Probably not. But anyways, we are getting there. Sit tight and be right, and don't get shaken out by any possible pullbacks that will occur, which I've said like 4 times now, so you might be used to that. I'm just trying to keep it somewhat, I will say, cool in this monster wave 3 up that will hopefully, if we are correct here, be very prosperous to every single one of us that are in the uranium space. All right, XLE divided by the SPX. Again, massive green candle. So the energy sector XLE is still outperforming after this bull flag break into that long-term golden uptrend support. Beautiful, beautiful. And yeah, I think again we're probably going up to the high here for the flag. And then we will see what happens. It also aligns up with the pivot low over there, so that's makes total sense to get up here. Then we will see. Maybe we should add this one in here. I'm just gonna add it in so I have it in mind when I see it. For maybe I don't know, but you could be in the making. I don't think so, but there is some possibilities of a head and shoulders. But again, I wouldn't worry about it until it confirms. Just looking at the bearish side as well. All right, XLE divided by URNM. So the energy sector against URNM, still rolling over, catching a small bit here. But anyways, I mean, we had the low here, finding some support, makes sense. But yeah, you can see it here. And then we are now making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. So clearly URNM is outperforming XLE. Beautiful. URNM against the spot price, it isn't moving much here. But again, if we can stay here, the 30 weekly will soon start to slope up, and then we will start to have the long-term outperformance by the uranium miners against the spot price. Beautiful. We have broken out clearly. This was a bottoming inverted head and shoulders, and now we are still way more bullish on the miners compared to the spot price. So it looks absolutely fantastic. Again, I think we're going at least up to these highs up here in this range, in this region. So we have at least 100% outperformance in the miners, in the making at least. URA, again, URA is like 60-70% uranium, and then we have a lot of solar, which is doing insanely poorly. So you can see here the lag in URA against the spot price. And the level to watch really for URA to outperform is roughly here, this high there, the breakout high. But yeah, you can clearly see we cannot gain any momentum at the moment, largely due to the solar component in the URA, the 40% solar and other stuff. But long term, just look at it here. Again, my view, major inverted head and shoulders in the making. And when we get that momentum, we are going to the neckline, as you know here. And you can do the measured move, but it is somewhere around here at the Fukushima highs. So we still have an insanely long road ahead of us where the uranium miners will do fantastic. If my views are correct on this take. URA divided by the overall commodities. Again, long term, we are in the driving seat again for URA against commodities. Still, nothing much has happened this week, but we did clear this rising wedge. That's a bearish one to the upside, and we're above the long-term white support. So URA is outperforming overall commodities. You can also see here how hammered down it has been. So stage 4, stage 1 basing, and we're going in for a stage 2 incline again. So that's nice to see. Also insanely nice is still the outperformance by URA against the SPY. Ever since we have cleared that triangle one-way street, we're going to the triangle high here at 0.068, and then we will see what happens. But again, clearly, URA is outperforming the SPY, very stretched here again. So I wouldn't expect to. I wouldn't be surprised if the SPY really starts to have a few weeks where it outperforms. But Also a very strong chart here against URA at the NDX, the Nasdaq, coming into massive resistance here at around 0.002 level in that range. You can see here every single time. But now we have this cup and handle in play, and we might wiggle around here a bit, and then we snap break, and you will have the beautiful uranium miners ETF URA outperforming the Nasdaq for the first time in, I would say, 10 years, 15 years, 15 years, yeah. So beautiful. Again, very stretched, so I wouldn't be surprised for that. Short pause here, bullish consolidation, and then we snap. Anyways, beautiful. Also beautiful is still the confirmation, which we haven't got yet. That long-term trend line here, one line here can actually show you that if we snap here, URA is outperforming Bitcoin stunningly. That's a great one. Looking at the spot price, really, just look at it here. Fukushima high over here at 73, which we are going to kiss this time around, as mentioned many times. Just look at it here, one hockey stick move up, and we will kiss here. How much will we overshoot? I have no idea, but still the long-term trend is just in your favor. So just sit tight and be right, really, and add on the dips. Just keep it simple. What's also, again, beautiful chart here. We looked at it last week. Let's go to the monthly because we get a bit more, a nice review. Look at it, guys, and girls for that matter. The uranium spot price is outperforming silver for the first time in 14 years. So stage 2, stage 1 basing, and now we're outperforming. So again, I think silver will start to do very good here in Q4, maybe Q1 next year. So to have the uranium spot price outperform this over the next few years, oh boy, that's a remarkable journey if this is the case, really. And I don't think well, I hope you do, but this is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Same thing again against gold. Just look at that beautiful breakout here. You have the pits, the armpits, as the market sniper calls them, and inverted head and shoulders trigger here again. We are going way higher in this ratio, where uranium spot price is outperforming gold and silver, which will do very good in the next 2 years, 3 years to come. What is not to like, guys, really? Okay. Yeah, even though the ETFs and so on didn't trigger anything nicely, we do have uranium outperforming gold and silver right now, just beginning after 15 years of dry spell, you can say. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Join me in for the next week, in week what's it called? The end of the week, the weekly close. We will see where we are. Have a great one, guys. Cheers.